Here on this special edition of Focus Earth, get ready to meet some of the most important visionaries of our time, along with the unsung hero who is making the biggest difference of all. Hello, I'm Bob Woodruff. There's no doubting it. We're facing some extraordinary environmental challenges, but we're also living in a time of innovation and solutions thanks to the 6 inspiring individuals you're about to meet. I like to call them heroes because they're literally saving our planet from some of its greatest threats. And as I stand here in California's Patterson Pass Wind Park, among the largest concentration of wind turbines anywhere, I feel the power of these passionate individuals in these iconic symbols. Because as they work to save the planet, the men and women we're honoring are also renewing another important source of energy, hope. To meet them, let's begin more than 9,000 miles away in Africa. Kenya is a nation in ecological crisis. A vicious cycle of deforestation, soil erosion, and drought have ravaged the land. But in this East African country, long dominated by men, a native daughter has risen to the challenge, risking everything, even her life, to save the forest and the people she loves. In the morning shadows of Mount Kenya, together, she and I drive along the rural roads of Tumu Tumu, deep into the forest where they are planting trees. When we arrive, the welcome from my companion speaks volumes about who she is. The women sing a song to greet her. The translation, a call to action.
They said when you get here, get busy. And so they have gotten busy. Let us plant trees, let us take care of the land.
Taking care of the land is what she does. She is Dr. Wangari Maathai, also known as the Tree Woman of Africa. For more than 30 years, she has been the leader of the Green Belt movement. And in that time, she and her group have planted 40 million trees. Her movement advocates human rights through empowering communities and protecting the environment.
This one now we'll take and we'll go and plant.
To see it, we traveled to Kenya for a tree planting lesson, starting with seedlings. How many have you planted here already?
We already have more than 10,000.
More than 10,000? When was the last time you planted them yourself?
Well, every time I go to the nursery, I do it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. I try to work with them so they know that I'm not afraid of the soil. I love the soil and I'm not afraid of dirtying my hands.
Kenya is entrenched in a constant battle with soil erosion and devastating drought. In fact, northeast Kenya hasn't seen rain in over 2 years, and a third of its people are in famine.
It's wet.
Through the planting of trees, Dr. Maathai and her team have created thousands of acres of biodiversity-rich indigenous forest and reduced soil erosion nationwide. The Greenbelt movement pays the workers for each tree and has helped hundreds of thousands of women and families create a better life. For Dr. Maathai, decades of political and ecological struggle have been dangerous.
If you're going to shed blood because of our land, we will.
By standing up for trees, she's also stood up for democracy and women's rights. She's been the target of assassination, jailed countless times, held in house arrest, and beaten into a coma. But up from the ground, she has risen. She was the first woman in East Africa to earn a PhD, the first woman to teach at the university level, the recipient of numerous global honors, and the first environmentalist, male or female, to win the Nobel Peace Prize.
The challenge, as I stand here today, is to give back to the children a world of beauty and wonder. Thank you very much.
Back in the forest, we dig the ground and we're ready to plant a tree.
Yeah.
My first tree. After the tree is planted and watered, we cover the ground with leaves. So this is just to keep it from evaporating, huh?
So that the water doesn't evaporate. You need a lot of it.
Keep working. We drove up Tumu Tumu Hill to see a greenbelt forest that once started as mere seedlings. But was surprised by a roadblock. Dozens of machete-armed farmers heard the Greenbelt movement was coming, so they came to scare them away. But when they saw our cameras and police escort, they quickly changed their tune. Potentially violent protests suddenly became a welcome party. Did you know she was coming?
She is our hero, and that is why we had come here to wait for her, and to welcome her, and also to welcome you.
Is that so? There's no disagreement at all?
No.
Well, that's what I'm hearing. The whole issue is the fact that there seems to be a competition between, obviously, some people who want to harvest trees and those who are protecting trees.
Well, so there really was a conflict.
There was a conflict.
But they're saying there's no conflict.
Yeah, and as you saw, when they see authority, they become as quiet as mice and as peaceful as a dove. But
it was a lie.
Yeah, it was a complete lie.
We traveled further up into the mountains and found what the machete crowd was trying to hide. Scorched hillsides, still smoldering. The fire had been deliberately set to clear the land for farming. Women gathered the remains of the trees for firewood.
What I'm trying to explain is that what we see here is completely wrong.
She confronts the men over the extensive cutting and scorching of indigenous trees.
This is why they are dying of hunger. This is why we don't have water. This is why we don't have rainfall. And that is why, therefore, we are having crop failure. If we destroy our environment, and then we go to church to pray and ask God to help, I'm sorry, God does not deal with stupidity.
The effects of deforestation have no borders. From Africa to the Amazon, the destruction of the global green canopy threatens the delicate ecosystems of these life-giving forests. Each day, over 50,000 acres of forest are destroyed worldwide for commercial purposes. And as the deforestation increases, so does the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Dr. Mathai's efforts on behalf of Africa affect us all. For the people of Kenya, the conflict continues between those who say they need trees now for economic survival against those with a grander vision to protect trees for the overall health of the planet. For Dr. Mathai, the work never ends. Here, the planting and survival of one single tree is cause for celebration by all. The words she sings, everyone has planted a tree. As Dr. Mathai's work continues to take root, there is hope. But the effects of Kenya's deforestation are still far-reaching in places you might not even suspect. When trees are cleared, soil is washed away into rivers and eventually into the ocean, threatening the health of Kenya's coral reefs. As in Kenya, coral reefs around the globe are in trouble, many already dying. And a new study warns the reefs will start to dissolve completely in just a few decades, which is why our next hero is swimming against the tide to save them.